right, y'all, we're here with Kevin. And Kevin, we've been going 2 years? Or is it about a year and a half? Year and a half as well, okay. Year and a half, and just like Hatice and Aiden, we work with them, and now we'll be working with Kevin. And Kevin, I want to know, when you came into the assessment, like the first session we ever had, like I just came in, and you walked in the door, what were some things you were feeling coming into it? What are some thoughts, fears, possible apprehensions coming in?
Well, I came in with the typical fears of any of these fitness routines. That fear is just, will I get injured?
Oh, yeah.
My typical core, my body's pretty tight, and I've had back injuries, and if I do something a little too much, I'll end up throwing out my back. So I had that fear coming in. But what allayed the fear is when I talked to you, you really took a look at my physiology. You had me walk a certain way, you had me do certain postures and things, and you were able to determine where I was tight and where I needed work. And so I got the feeling Samara understands my physiology, has some science behind it, so I think I felt much more comfortable.
That's awesome. And I know when we first started going, you were telling me you play squash, you like to go on the row machine. Those are things that were important to you. Since starting, how have the things we're doing in here just once a week impacting what you're doing with the things that you love to do?
Oh, it's pretty fundamental. I mean, it used to be just starting my day, getting out of bed, and being able to move and being able to put my own socks on and things like that. I had to be very careful about it, and I just was very tight. And so even starting my day, I'm much looser, and I'm much able to bend over and much able to use my body. And then as the day progresses through the office and travel and stuff, I'm able to be much more comfortable. But then when I really start using my body to play squash or use a row, I mean, squash is very hard on my physiology, right?
Yeah.
And through your exercises, I'm able to make sure I don't blow out a hamstring or I pull it back or hurt my shoulder. But then I also decided I wanted to start using a regimen of strength and that sort of thing. So my son taught me how to use the rowing machine. And I always looked at the rowing machine saying, I will kill myself in the rowing machine.
Yeah.
Because I'm using my back and pulling like this. But you're able to show me how to strengthen my core so that I use it now. I row a couple thousand meters a day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
That's really cool. Cool. And I think, what I love about working with you is whenever you come in and we're doing something, you always want to video something, you always want to take a picture of it, you always want to know why we're doing it. How is that educational piece for you? I mean, when we bring Terrence the skeleton out and we talk about Terrence, how's that experience for you whenever we're in session together? Yeah,
the sessions are just to tell what Samara is talking about. That's Samara and then Terrence, and Terrence is his skeleton that's hanging in there. And so Samara's been really good at explaining why I'm doing this particular movement or exercise, because some of them are pretty stressful. I mean, they really require concentration. But since he shows me on Terrence the bones where, for example, I'm trying to open up a hip socket and the ball in the joint and what I'm trying to do, I'm able to visualize that when I'm doing the exercise, and I think make it more effective.
Would you say that helps you like throughout your regular week in terms of you being able to actually do it? It gives you almost like an incentive to actually do the thing outside of the session because now you understand exactly what you're trying to accomplish with it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not just some pattern. There's a real relationship to my body, and there's a reason to do it. And so, yeah, it's a very cause and effect, and I find that extremely valuable.
That's awesome, man. So I know you work a lot, and you're traveling quite a bit. So in terms of even on your big trips that you take, what are some movements that you take from here and you apply while you're traveling? I'm curious. You can be even very specific. What are some movements that you just feel like this really helps?
Yeah, certainly. So what are the challenges of traveling, being on a plane, either sitting in a sitting position for a long time, or hotels with beds that maybe aren't quite as comfortable as the one we have at home. So that can cause real problems, especially with my back and things like that, and shoulders. And so the exercises you give me in the morning and also the evening, and they don't take a long time, just to open up my hips to do what you call the 90-90 and things like that, and the car and those kind of distinctions really help get the circulation going in my joints. And so I don't feel that typical pain and discomfort during the traveling. So it makes a big difference.
That's awesome. And for you too, so if someone's watching this, they deal with back pain, they have tight hips, they work a similar job like you do, sitting on a computer, or they're traveling a lot, like what would you say to them coming into this? Because they're probably terrified too, thinking, I'm gonna hurt myself. What would you say to them if they're kind of afraid and not sure?
That fear will go away and because you'll prevent the fear. I don't have the typical back pain anymore, and I don't have the fear when I'm taking your instruction that I'm going to hurt myself. And I can also talk to you if I feel like one of these positions we're doing is like this is feeling a little bit weird. You'll say, okay, well, just hang on a second, let's talk about it. And you'll examine what I'm doing. You'll feel where it's my muscle movement or some tension in my body, and you'll say, maybe you should turn your knee out a little bit. So, for example, I'm doing squats, and I'm feeling that my knee is bothering me. You said, Kev, if you turn your foot out a little bit, you'll find the pressure comes off the knee, and boom, it took care of it right away. Yeah. I had pressures on my shoulder, my right shoulder, which is probably where most of the tension is, and using a mouse. And you were able to tell me how to drop my shoulder and turn my wrist back and do these exercises that were able to take care of it then and also have me deal with it myself. Right. So I don't have the fear. And talking about prior, working out and rowing at fitness machines or under instructors from yoga, I didn't have that individual attention. And I didn't have someone really watching my particular physiology and my movement and telling me how to make sure I don't injure myself. And I have it here from yourself and from the rest of your crew. Nick has been fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. I look forward to keep getting you better at rowing, getting you better at squash, and we'll go from there.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.